It seems like the media is getting more and more willing to dox people and even their families to shut them up because, it started off with like that guy who released that GIF with Trump beating up CNN. So CNN figured out his information, contacted him, and said like, "Hey, we're gonna dox you if you don't come out and apologize for what you're doing for like advocating violence against a news network." So he had to like come out, make a whole apology like under duress pretty much. And that was pretty fucked up. But then soon after, the Daily Beast goes and releases that the identity of these two girls, that they're related to Pamela Geller. So then their whole social media, their job, their career is completely ruined because of that. So that was a pretty low tactic. That was by like the Daily Beast. And now the Huffpo with this reporter, Luke O'Brien, goes in and discovers Amy Meck's true identity and goes in and decides to contact her husband. His work, he apparently worked for the WWE, said that, hey, by the way, somebody who you work for, their wife is a bigot. Just so you know, right? He made up some bullshit excuse saying he was just trying to get commentary or something, but it's like, I wasn't trying to get him fired. But it's like, yes, you were. This is a tactic by the media. This is just to shut people up. Like, let's be clear. It's not to uh, reveal truth and justice or anything like that, right? Like, the media should be focusing on real issues that are happening in other countries, like foreign policy, or real government policies and stuff that are happening in the country, like other than doxing these racists on Twitter, right? And then ruining everybody who is associated with them in their lives. So then this guy, he reveals Amy Meck's information, her husband's, he gets fired. She also reveals like her brother's information, like his businesses. So then these all get negative reviews and all this shit. And this is pretty much just putting a target on people's back as well. And what the media knows that they don't have to say anything. They don't have to say like, "Oh, boycott this, do that," because their fan base or their voter base is just insane and will do that anyways. They don't have to tell you attack or anything like that because Antifa will take that upon themselves. So they know this, and they will play stupid like, "Oh, we're not trying to ruin their lives and this and that. This is journalism, and this is just a part of journalism." And it's like, man, you're not fooling anybody other than the most biased, uh, dumbass, ridiculous fucking idiots. Like, you are doing this to silence people. So, you know, for the people that are anonymous, just be wary of that. I think Amy Meck, she had pretty much doxed herself at one point already. So, if you want to keep your anonymity, then you have to be very careful. You have to be like Mr. Medicare to that point where it's going to be next to impossible for people to find you out, because if the media really wants to figure out your identity, they will figure it out. So don't think you are safe behind this like anonymity, because you really are not. So people should really start saying what they truly believe right now, before it's too late, before you have laws that come in that say you can't believe this or you're going to jail. Because losing your job right now is bad, but going to jail in the future, or having to completely silence yourself in the fear of going to jail in the future, is much worse. We don't want to look like the UK eventually. Like, that is something that you do not want to happen. So it's better to speak up now and not necessarily hide behind avatars. Now, there is still a place for it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying everybody should reveal their identity. And, sometimes it is still good to hide it. There are still many good reasons to hide your identity. But for some people, you should be looking at whether or not it is worth it for you to come out, and whether you are willing to suffer the consequences. Because honestly, the longer people wait, the longer, people don't say anything, or just saying it behind a mask and stuff. Like this Amy Mack, the media had convinced everybody that she was a Russian troll for the longest time, right? Does anybody remember that? That everybody was convinced, oh, she's a Russian troll. A Russian bot. So, you know, but then it comes out, oh wait, she's actually a Jew. So there's this whole other dimension to it, right? With that or whatever, if you want to look more into that. But nonetheless, like, it's the media, it's going after these people's families. They just, this is a message that they're sending to me and you to say, hey, we are not above doing this. We will go and do the shittiest things possible to shut you the fuck up. And they're showing us that they're willing to do it. So be wary of it. And if you really do want to keep your anonymity, make sure you follow all the correct parameters to do it. Like, I don't know how to do it, so I'm just too lazy. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna show my face, say what I believe, and not censor myself. And like, sometimes the anonymity does embolden people to be, I think, maybe a little bit more extreme than they actually think. But because they're hidden, they feel like, okay, I can get away with it and shit. But even if you're anonymous, you should try to say and do the things that you would do in person. Like, even as an anonymous person, like, if people, they'll talk the biggest shit to you, on Twitter, and they're like, anonymous, oh, I'm gonna come kick your ass and beat the living shit out of you, and this and that. And you're like, okay, show me your face. And they just like don't respond or say anything. So it's like, obviously you wouldn't talk like that in real life. You wouldn't go after, same with a lot of people that like to say like the N-word a shitload, anonymously and stuff online. Like, it's like, man, if you're not gonna say that in your day-to-day life, you're not gonna go up to people in the street or black people and stuff and say that, then you probably shouldn't say it online as well, honestly. Because it's like, if you're not walking the walk, and you're just saving it for the online and shit, then it's like you're kind of a coward, you're kind of a bitch, in my opinion. But it's like, you should just say what you believe and suffer the consequences. And that's pretty much the only way things kind of will change. But like I said before, there is a place for anonymity. Like, there's places in Muslim countries and shit. Like, yeah, if you're gay, you're gonna get killed. If you're an atheist, you're gonna be murdered. There are plenty of good reasons to stay anonymous. I'm not bashing everybody that does feel they need to be anonymous, but just try to talk like you would normally talk if you weren't anonymous. Try to, like, act like you are in person, because I think people forget that when it is online and shit. And like, I think Amy Mack, they're talking about how she posted a picture of like roasting a Muslim or something like that over a fire. Like, no, like, I don't agree with that shit. I know a lot of people in this sphere of YouTube and stuff kind of do, but it's like, no, like, I don't believe we should kill Muslims and they should deserve to die and stuff, right? But it's like, this, it's kind of funny that she kept her full last name hidden, that she is actually Jewish. She just kept it short. But, I'm not, that does seem a little weird, because it's like, if she did reveal her whole identity, she probably wouldn't have as much support of some people as she would have had, right? But she's advocating all this violence against Muslims, and she's just pretty much getting like all these regular people, the goy, whatnot, all angry and willing to do her like dirty work for her as she's like anonymously behind a fucking mask saying like, oh, we should kill Muslims and do this and do that. Like, I'm not saying, I don't know, I like I said, I didn't follow her and stuff, so I don't know if she said exactly that or something. But if you're releasing kind of imagery that is like saying like, oh, we're gonna kill these people, or it's kind of alluding to that, like, no, I don't agree with that. I don't think that. I'm not for violence unless it's like in self-defense. You know, is the only time. I'm not a pacifist, but I'm not for doing that for people just based on their beliefs. I honestly do think majority of people, regardless of their religion and race and all that stuff, are pretty much decent people in the end. So it's like, yeah, no, if you're not gonna like say that with your name attached to it, stuff like that, then it's like, yeah, what the fuck? Like, you should you shouldn't be saying that shit unless you're willing to fucking say it with your name attached. But if you're hiding and you're all big and tough when you're fucking behind a screen, then it's like hidden, and you think you're not going to be found out, then it's like, yeah, you're kind of a pussy. But I don't agree with the media going in and doxing her and her fucking family. But that just kind of shows you the weakness right now of the media and how desperate they really are. Like, they didn't feel the need to do this in the past 5-6 years ago or more, when they could have. So clearly they can tell that they're losing grip. They're going after people with large social media followings and stuff to try to shut them up, so then people have nothing else to go to other than them for news. But that's all I pretty much had to say. If you like my content, subscribe and have a good day. See ya.